We are Steve and Jill.
Together, we've been buying and reselling land since the 90s.
Our data-centric approach leaves our buyers asking, how can you sell it so cheap?
Here on the Land Academy Show,
We answer that and more. Steve and Jill here.
hello.
Welcome to the Land Academy Show, entertaining land investment talk. I'm Stephen Jack Putella.
And I'm Jill DeWitt, broadcasting from the Valley of the Sun.
Today, Jill and I talk about 5 ways to seriously increase land value.
This will be cool.
Say this with confidence.
Right.
They are not what you think.
So, and this is you bought it, you own it. And now, because you bought it right, you're going to make money anyway. Because if you do what we tell you to do, and you follow us, basically, what we show you to do and follow us, you're going to make money anyway. But there's ways you can do things you could do to make even more money and increase your, not only your sales, I think, but also the speed in which you sell things. So I love this. This is all you.
You know, why are we here? We're here to make money on land. We're here to create a healthy spread between acquisition price and sales price. And so these are ways that you can seriously increase that value.
You know, before we get into this, I have a pet peeve.
Oh, sure.
That I just wanted to.
I love this.
I wanted to share with the planet.
Did I snore or something like that?
No, it's not you.
Oh, no, it's the first time. First time ever. It's not me. Excellent.
That's hilarious. It's not. There's times it's you, but not. There's a healthy time that it's not you. So don't say that. No, but why do people? This is pertinent because you either are like us or probably want to do this to have your own company,
or you're disgusted by us.
Well,
and if that's the case, which I understand, this might not be the show for you.
Yeah. Well, my pet peeve is about people who shoot from the hip and they say, oh, yeah, I know how to do that. And they never did it before in their life.
Do you have an example?
Yeah. Yeah. Here's my example. We're having pool work done, which involved draining our pool. And the worker showed up there hooking up the stuff. And he's like, well, I'm going to leave now. And I'm like, why am I hearing gurgling? I'm literally standing in my entryway, like hearing like a ghost gurgling throughout my home. And I'm like, that can't be right. And so we're walking around the house and he immediately says, unplug the pump. We got to unplug the pump. And I'm like, yeah. So anyway, now it's unfolded. And I stood there in my driveway before we started the process, asked a couple questions about his experience. I'm like, hey, he's explaining something. I'm like, sounds like you really know what you're doing. I said, make me feel better. You've probably done this all. He's like, oh yeah, I've done 100 of these just like this. I'm like, oh good, okay. No, apparently not. So A, I don't know why people do that. This is a whole separate show. And B, don't do this in your own business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's the takeaway here.
This is where, like, I tell people, when you answer the phone, as you're getting to learn about properties, don't pretend you know. Just be honest and say, you know what? Excellent question. I'm not sure what's possible with
I'll go
this.
take a look.
I'll get to the bottom of it. Or here's who you call. Either I'll call the county and find out, or here's the number to the county, and here's who you ask, and they'll be able to tell you and answer all your questions.
That's why we have tools like Discord and Land Academy, or Land Investors. And
this show.
Yeah.
To help you with this stuff.
Before we get into it, let's take a question posted by one of our members on the landinvestors.com online community. It's free. And I hope you know by now that Jill and I instruct a handful of new and existing Land Academy members in a live class called Career Path. If buying and selling land is your career, or you want it to be, shoot us an email at support@landacademy.com to find out where your actual level of involvement is.
All right, Victor wrote, I have a property with 2 owners that looks like a great deal in all aspects, but one of the owners is a real estate agent. I'm not sure what to make of this. He could be just an agent that does it on the side, does not want to sell themselves, or for some reason suspicious, does not know how to sell land. But I imagine he knows land brokers exist. Have anyone been in a situation like this? I see we've got some comments here, but I want to add
yours
mine
is, yeah, yours is first, sure.
So I've been in this situation. I've had I've had real estate agents that own property that I bought from them very commonly. And the most of the time is, hey, I bought it so cheap. It's not my thing. This guy rolled it in with this deal. So I just had to buy it. And now you're buying it for me. I wish you all the best. It's usually something really simple like that. So not that they're,
Josiah says, in response to this question in Discord, because everybody in Discord's answering each other's questions, he says, I've bought several properties from agents and brokers, and the situation was one or a combination of the following.
Yeah.
This is what Jill said, all the way through and through. Yeah. They're not land people, and they don't understand the value of the land that they owned, number one. Number two, they lived a long distance away, so they might not be licensed in that state. They inherited the property, so no real cash basis. They had a life situation where they needed cash fast. Well, that's the definition of a real estate agent. That's the definition of a real estate agent. The most inconsistent income there ever was. Mm-hmm. They had the need to simplify their life, and they wanted the property gone. So my way to identify this situation is that I know classic cars pretty well. And I can't count the number of times that I've let a car go or cars go for a price as a seller, just because it was a lot more convenient and for way less than it was worth. It's just like, I got this buyer, he's got cash in his hand. Yeah, I'm probably taking a $10,000 hit, but it'll be gone tomorrow and I can go buy the next car.
Mm-hmm. Usually that's not the case. You hang on to it because you want it, you know the value, and you do it the right way, but understood.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Today's topic, 5 ways to seriously increase the value of your land. This is the meat of the show. Jill and I individually did a list of 5. I haven't seen her list. She hasn't seen mine. I can't wait to see. Jill goes first.
Okay. I love this. Jack told me to do this Dave Letterman style. So I'm going to give you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So here's the scenario. You bought this property. It's great. You're ready to post it for sale. And you're sitting here thinking about, what are some ways? I know already I bought it right. So I know I'm going to make X amount on it. I already know that. I know what the market's like in this area. But what are the top 5 ways I can really hit this home in selling this property? So mine are number 5, make a few phone calls to know what. Why is that so funny?
I detect the sarcasm already.
People don't do this. Okay, these could be duh for some of you, but for others, they're like, oh, that's good. So seriously, make a few phone calls to know what's possible. People don't do this. You'd be surprised. Call the county, and the guy you bought it from probably doesn't know that it's mobile friendly. The guy you bought it from didn't even realize how close it is to X. And the guy you bought it from didn't know that you could put an RV on there indefinitely. I mean, there's all kinds of little things as they come up. We're talking about them. That a few simple phone calls you can find out. A local real estate agent might be able to give you some insight to what's going on in the area if you haven't, uncovered them on your own already. So that's my number 5. Number 4, ways to increase your land value when you're going to sell it. Have a sweet video of the property, the drive up to it, the quaint little town nearby. Here's what it looks like as you're rolling up. Here's what the path is like. So when you're coming up, you know what kind of car to bring, by the way, to check out the property that you're going to buy. Then everybody knows, and they'll remember that, by the way, when they buy it sight unseen and they love it and they know it, and then when they drive up to it, they know what it looks like, and like, oh, I remember seeing that mailbox on the corner, or that sign, or that beautiful tree, or that pond, fill in the blank. Number 3, put a shed or something cool.
Wow, ours are really similar.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I can't wait. Put a shed or something unique on it that's cheap, inexpensive. Maybe even buy a used shed off Craigslist and just have it hauled over there. Find something on Craigslist in the area that you say, hey, for an extra $100, will you put it over here? And they'll be like, yeah, because my wife wants it off the lawn. I got to get rid of this. Done, done, and done. Number 2 of my top 5 ways to increase land value, have it accurate. Let me stress this. Accurate and great title and description of the property and the area. So for example, in the title, it should say something like, I want the size of it, I want the money, and I want what's great about it. Like 5 acres near X waterfall, only $28,000, something like that. So I know right away what it is. And what I'm looking for, this is the property. And then my number 1 way to increase your land value after you buy it and you're posting it to sell. And again, I see so many people doing this wrong, is an awesome lead photo. I need the fall out of your chair wow factor. And if it's not a good day for your photographer, send them back. Because you know what? The extra $200 you spend, have them go back on the beautiful sunny day, or to get the sunrise or the sunset and the dew on the trees. You think I'm kidding? I'm not, because that tells a story. Just think about it. When you scroll down Zillow, LandWatch, wherever you're looking at property for sale and just kind of getting an idea of what other people are doing, there's going to be something that jumps out at you like, whoa, that's gorgeous. You know, that guy, I kind of want to buy that and keep that for myself. It needs to have that wow factor. So that's my list.
When you go out on the internet and you take a look at other people's land that's for sale around the property that you're about to purchase or have already purchased, it's boring.
Yeah.
They're all the same. The postings are all the same. There's a shot, if you're lucky, there's a non-Google Earth shot. There's an actual in-person shot standing on the road or close to the property. But you can't tell the difference between that property or any other property that's listed in that area, with very, very few exceptions. So your whole goal is to separate yourself. Mm-hmm. So here's my five ways to do that.
Okay, good.
You know, what Jill's talking about is building a use case, all right? My number 5 is put a shed on it. And this is my least favorite thing to do. We've only done it a few times. It always works. Mm-hmm. But that's very property specific. If it's heavily treed or there's no real clearing, there's all kinds of stuff. So it's only very specific situations where that works. But it separates you from all those other listings. Jill talked about building a use case and telling a story. Those fall into my number 2, which I'll get there in a second. Number 4 for me is send out neighbor letters. Look, when I sat down and literally, Jill and I were on vacation, got a pad of paper out and a pen and started writing down thoughts about Land Academy. This is long before I ever brought it to Jill to like, hey, maybe we should teach this. You know, we were already very successfully buying and selling land. What they tell you in these books, you know, hey, I want to start a company. What do I do first? They sit down with a pad of paper and a pen, and you write until you have like a couple of sentences about what the company is going to be all about, and stop there. So what's Land Academy about? Well, it's about this topic. Strangely enough, it's 7 years later. It's this topic. How do you create equity in a piece of property that you're about to buy? Mm-hmm. That's what this question really is. We're not here because it's cool. I mean, it is kind of cool, I think. Not this show. The show's not cool at all. But I mean buying and selling land. Mm-hmm. So we're here to create equity. So putting a shed on it, you're going to create some equity. Very inexpensive way to separate yourself, create some equity. Number 4, send out neighbor letters. There's overwhelming statistics from all kinds of sources that say people who live close to the property are probably the ones who are going to buy it. That goes for houses and office buildings and all of it, you know, and all kinds of special use property. I used to buy and sell nursing homes, and the first thing I would do is call the people who own nursing homes in the same town and say, hey, do you want another one? And it almost always worked. The same is here. The same situation is here. Number 3 is put a freaking sign on it. The day that you close, or that you know it's going to close, have your photographer or whoever's going to go out there to shoot it, or however you deal with it, even a neighbor, put a sign up that says, hey, this is for sale now. Call this number. Not for sale and complicated at all. Just for sale by owner. Here's the number. And every time we've done that, you sell it in the first week. Or something's wrong and you got to figure it out, which is easily solvable. Number 2, and Jill's number 2 for me is market it better. And it's real easy to go. All you ever see online with regular postings is, look at this great property. It's 1.32 dreamy acres over here that, you know, is great and you're going to love it. Instead of saying, this property is suited for RV living for 30 days, the first 30 days of whatever the rules are. So you're building a use case. There's so many great ways in telling a story. You should build a use case and tell a story in every description for your property. It's super, super important. and not enough people do it. And if you have a real estate agent, you can't count on them to do it at all. They're not going to do it right. I can tell you right now. I've never met a licensed real estate agent who markets property correctly, ever. In how many years have I been doing this? Number one, buy it cheaper. That's the best way to create value when you're buying and selling land.
That's awesome. You know, this is a good show because I think we covered two different things, not just increasing value, but also speed. Because some of your things trip into speed of sales. You
know what we didn't say, either one of us, and we didn't compare notes before? Drill a well.
Oh, yeah.
Install a septic. Clear the property.
Oh, yeah.
All this location, physical presence stuff that you can do, that's for contractors. That's not for you. Unless you're a contractor, then maybe it's real cheap for you and easy to do that, and you've got a Bobcat in your backyard ready to go.
Yeah.
Then I think that's good for you. That might be how you use Land Academy. But for me, and I know for her, if I leave my desk, I start to lose money. So these are things, almost all of them, if not all, they're all achievable at your desk.
Happy you could join us today. 5 days a week, you can find us here on the Land Academy Show.
Tomorrow, the episode on the Land Academy Show is how money works in your land business. You are not alone in your real estate ambition.
What's that about tomorrow? How money works in your land business?
Yeah.
Can you give me a little insight?
Sure.
I know how it works in my home.
Well, it's the same way. It's the same way.
All right.
Only it's, there's a commercial version of managing money, and then there's a household version, and pretty much nothing in between. And this is the commercial version, and it has to do with speed and velocity, and it has absolutely nothing to do with managing cash, which I think the vast majority of people personally and professionally make mistakes on.
Mm-hmm. Hey, happy you could join us today, or thank you for tuning in. Both of them. I got a little garbled there because I have a sneaky thing I'm announcing right now. We have just a few days to go, and then Land Academy enrollment is reopening. So you heard it here. I think I leaked it a little bit last week. I'm leaking it now, then telling you it's coming up quick. So how are you going to get notified? Get on our email list. So go to landacademy.com, download the ebook. That's going to tell you all about this anyway. And if you have the ebook, you're on our email list, and you will know because it's coming up soon. And by the way, I have a holiday special coming at you, so watch for that. We're Jack and Jill.
Information
and inspiration
to buy undervalued property.
We hope you find our content valuable, and we appreciate your support. If you have not already, please check out our channel and hit the subscribe button.
And your comments and suggestions help us to create the content you're here for. Hitting the like button helps to support our channel's algorithm and gauge your interest for future shows.